The last week, I've been kind of obsessed with this brand. So, this brand disrupts the sleep industry. Everybody talks in branding and then advertising liquid death. They disrupted the water industry. There was nothing like it. Well, a sea of sameness for the sleep industry is really lavender, chamomile, soft textures, spa-like colors and sounds. Talk about a whispering industry. And the opposite of that is this brand called Sleep or Die. Right off the name. I mean, you sleep or you die. So I'm going to share my screen and show you and tell you a little bit about this brand that I'm pretty excited. Off the bat, this is a sleep industry. So this is the brainchild of Lawrence Sudeyko. And Lawrence Sudeyko isn't a nobody in the branding industry. She comes from Pepsi and she comes from Google and some other CPG companies as well. And she built this brand pretty much on her own. And what I find really interesting is she built this brand obviously to stand out, sleep or die, but she built it on Substack, out in the open, transparency, that you can follow it along, sleep or die diaries, what she's making, how in the last year she's really built it. It's really interesting from a brand perspective. And then she went all in on this crimson red cigarette boxes. She calls her community zombies. It's like nothing that you've seen. It's like sleep tape and it's a sleep aid like melatonin inspired strips. And the people use the strips. She created a community called Strip Club. She's already doing things a lot different. She has this mascot that is a illustration of sheep that trolls Instagram for people posting at 4 a.m. and tells them you should get better sleep. But she's doing a lot of really cool things. So something that stands out that's just completely unexpected in the branding world that makes you really just pause and take a look.
The sheep, little lamb iconography is interesting because it actually has tied insight into counting sheep when you're trying to sleep. She's also pulling from part of popular culture as well while trying to disrupt it. I remember there was another brand that came out of this conversation called Hostage Tape, and it was the same thing. It was like mouth tape.
Yes. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that with the boldness of the colors and the color scheme of the cherry red and black. It's obviously super bold and trying to do something different, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Hostage tape is kind of really going after that aggro boot camp, like workout group, maybe a little bit in that aesthetic. And then this feels like, no, we're creating a fashion brand
Yeah.
to stand out.
Yeah, it's like the generic sleep brand is like selling you that, like Jason was saying, that transcendence and calm every night. And this is like, no, this is like the fear of death if you don't sleep.
I was going to ask, what audience do you think this is meant to appeal to? Because I see quite a bit of Gen Z imagery here.
Yeah.
The pose with the tongue reminds me of Olivia Rodrigo and the Sour
Mhm.
album. So I wonder who they're speaking to.
I think you're right. It's more of the Gen Z younger playbook where a brand can't be a product and a brand. Brand has to be a community. This is from day one. Let's turn sleep into a community. Let's call the people who are part of the community zombies. Let's create strip clubs, be provocative and stand out by building a community. So she could come up with a sleep mask and then the zombies are going to buy in because the community is already established.
Yeah, I feel like there is something too, because it's CPG, they could have so much more intrigue with that kind of stuff. Because I know, like the face masks, maybe they'll become the actual design of them, zombie face mask type,
Oh yeah, that's a cool.
leaning into it.
Imagine if she partnered with like the standard Ace Hotel. You get a little cigarette box on your pillow or in your toiletry bag at the hotel.
The tongue pose with the strip is a very LSD drug taking type of vibe too, which leans into the cigarette box branding as well.
Jason and Mike, I'm curious on your thoughts on the props and the objects used in the imagery.
I love it because it tells a story. This person staying in this hotel room, doing this at night, it all feels like one narrative. I mean, this is a mood board to a TV spot, which is really cool. In my research, Lauren got into a bad accident and she had trouble sleeping. I don't want to tell her story, but this idea of sleep or die came from personal experience. I mean, you put the word die on your product, you are putting a flag in the sand of the category you're going after. And it's not lost to me. Death, die, liquid death. It's trying to do something similar in that disruption and even using similar concept within the name of it.
Yeah, and like even their colorway, the color palette leans into a horror gothic movie type of palette, right? Blacks and blood red. Even that girl's pose right there, I think that might even be in a slight allusion to The Shining. Remember the woman in that movie? There's like a famous image of her when Jack Nicholson is trying to break through the door with the axe. And she has that scared face. It like looks just like that pose. So I think they're leaning into that. They're trying to make it feel scary. And that ties in with their actual brand name.
Talk
Yeah.
me through some of these camera angles. Like they're very close up, right? Uncomfortable. How do you think they approached their photography style? Because as we've been talking about, like the poses are very deliberate. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the word that comes out is raw, authentic and raw and genuine, but it's also pretty posed too. So that's the thing. I think there is actually a couple of styles here. I would like to see this brand go full in on the raw.